Folks, welcome back to another Top 10 list on GenCon 2023. This is my last installment for GenCon videos this year, and this is my Top 10 must-have picks that I would absolutely, barring any other kind of huge bad thing happening, whether I have to kick and scream and push and, well, I'm not going to do all of that, but I would really want to in my mind. These are the 13 games that I would really, going to put another really in there, yes, really want to have in my luggage as I'm heading home from GenCon 2023 if I were going. Sadly, I'm not, but these are the 10 with 3 honorable mentions that I would want to be in my luggage heading back from GenCon 2023 if I were going. Sad face, emoji, moving on. My number 10 is Indiana Jones Sands of Adventure. Now, from the other lists that I've already posted, you know how I feel about FUNKO games and Prospero Hall. I really enjoy the games that they've been putting out. They're great family weight games, and they capture the themes of their IPs really well for the most part. And I'm a big Indiana Jones fan. I love Harrison Ford as an actor. Han Solo is my favorite character in the Star Wars movies. I just have an affinity for Harrison Ford and Indiana Jones and Han Solo. So this is an auto buy for me, generally speaking. And this is pretty much what this list is. These are auto buys. I just put them in order because that's what we do. So, number 10, Indiana Jones Sands of Adventure, FUNKO Games, Prospero Hall, Race Against the Sand in suspenseful cooperative gameplay. So there's your first mechanism that really kind of grabs me. Cooperative games, I love them. Action event, hand management, matching. Not a huge matching. That's why it's not higher up on the list. Once per game abilities, I do like those, generally speaking. Variable player powers and variable setup, I really enjoy those things. Not too big on real-time games, but that's what this is. But I'm willing to give them a try because they're cooperative, and I really don't like real-time competitive games because some people are just faster at doing things than others. But real-time cooperative games, those are a little bit closer to the thing. Variable player powers, hand management, these are all things that I really enjoy. So this is pretty much an auto buy for me simply because it's from the FUNKO Games Prospero Hall people, and it's a theme and IP that I enjoy. So that's my number 10, Indiana Jones Sands of Adventure. My number 9 is a game called Barcelona, and this is from Board and Dice. Board and Dice are a great company that usually make pretty heavy games, but this one's on the lower end of that spectrum at about 3.6 out of 5. So it's still kind of a heavier weight game, but it also already has an 8.1 rating on the Geek, which really is telling me that this is something that I might want to take a look at. And I usually enjoy their lower heavyweight games. If I can make that, the ones that are on the lower end of the heavyweight spectrum, which this looks like it is. The tagline is, take on the role of builders of 19th century Barcelona working on the new district. I like games that have tile placement and you're building an area up. I like those kinds of games. Tile placement, worker placement, in-game bonuses. These are all things that are basically telling me, hey, you're probably going to enjoy this. Take a look at a couple of the pictures here, and it looks a little dry, like a lot of those Euro games do. But I'm with Board and Dice, I'm usually able to kind of sequester my theme wanting and my aesthetics wanting inside voices and try to enjoy just the mechanisms that are employed. And I'm willing to give this one a try. I like the idea of building up a city, and that's really what's grabbing me here. That's why it's number 9 on the list and not higher. But that is Barcelona from Board and Dice. My number 8 grabbed me with the artwork and the idea behind the game. 6 princesses battle for the right of the Midnight Court. That sounds mysterious and it sounds interesting, which is why. And then the artwork said, hey, here you go. And then I looked at some of the pictures. There's only a few of them on the Geek, but this looks like there are some pretty cool components with this game as well. And I love games that have a great table presence. I don't always like playing the games, but man, if they have a presence on the table where people see it from across the room and want to walk over and see what's going on, that's a pretty cool thing in my opinion. So those are the kinds of things that kind of brought this to the forefront for me. 60 to 90 minutes, 3 to 6 players. Didn't have a weight registered yet, but we're looking at deck, bag, pool building, variable player powers. Those are both things that I enjoy. You have some dice, you have some card game, card play that's in there as well. And the component quality really kind of brought it to the forefront. So this is probably going to be an auto buy for me. If I were going, I really like the look of it, and I think I would probably enjoy the playing of it as well. It's my number 8, Queen by Midnight. My number 7 is the beginning of a lot of games that I would want to purchase just because of the artwork. I apologize. But when I say I apologize, you can just basically insert sorry, not sorry. Yokai Sketch is my number 7. And the reason this is coming up is because, you guessed it, Vincent Dutrait's artwork is on it. Complete a set of cards of one type of yokai and claim the points on it. Simple enough, right? Well, it's just a set collection game. That's all it is. But if you look at the components are cool. It looks like the animals are really where the artwork comes out. There's a lot of other kind of iconography, but it's still all Vincent Dutrait's artwork. I like that look. So I'm liking how this game is looking, and I want it just because it has Vincent Dutrait's artwork on it. I apologize, but the dude's great. The dude does awesome work. So back up off me, y'all. My number 6. Well, I'm just going to kind of dive on in the deep end here. Yep, Gold West. Also Vincent Dutrait's artwork. He did collaborate with Adam P. McIver. But it's got Vincent Dutrait's artwork in it, so it goes on this list. Period. End of discussion. Are there any other things that I might want to look at before I say, yes, I want to purchase this game? Well, I was like, okay, well, what's the publisher? Trick or Treat Studios. Don't know too much about them. But it's got Vincent Dutrait's artwork on it. Alex Kevern is the designer. That's not bad, right? Let's look at the mechanisms. Contracts. I like that. MANCALA. Ooh, I like that too. Modular board. Yes. Set collection. Okay. Network root building. Yes. All right. So, yes, I think I'll like this game. And it's got Vincent Dutrait's artwork on it. So, it's my number 6. Go check it out. Because if I were there, I'd be beating you to go buy this. Just saying. I mean, and I don't mean like, I mean like just running. That's all I meant. I don't want to beat anybody up. My number 5 is a game from Monster Fight Club. This is the second Monster Fight Club game that I've had on lists for GenCon. The other one was on the interested list. And this one, Borderlands, Mr. Torg's Arena of Badassery, is the other game. This is on the must-have list because while I was working for Monster Fight Club, this is the game that I liked more than Cyberpunk Red Combat Zone. I really enjoyed Cyberpunk Red Combat Zone, don't get me wrong, but I really, really enjoyed Borderlands, Mr. Torg's Arena of Badassery. And here's the thing, I've only demoed it twice at GenCon last year before I was working for Monster Fight Club. But I did get to work a lot on the production level. I was basically the project manager's assistant during my time there as we were working on Borderlands, and I got to really kind of sink my teeth into the background of it, I guess you could say, and I really enjoyed it. I'm not a huge Borderlands fan. I never really played the video game, maybe a couple of times, but I wasn't really, the theme really didn't grab me, but I really liked the scenario basis of the game, and I enjoyed a lot of the different variable player powers and all of that kind of stuff that comes with it, and it fit the theme really well as well. So I did enjoy that. John Kovaleski, John Cadis, were the designers here. Katie Dillon is the artist, along with Jose David Lanza Cebrian. So here we go. Mechanisms, campaign, battle card driven, dice rolling. There are event cards that are in the thing. Grid movement, modular board, multiple maps, semi-cooperative game. You're all kind of working together, but I really did enjoy this game a lot. I thought it was a great time, and I've only demoed it twice, and this is one of the things that I would want to have in my luggage coming back from GenCon this year if I were to be there, but alas, poor Yorick, I am not. My number 4 is a game called My Island. We already talked about My City Roll and Build on one of our other lists. I've already told you that I enjoy My City a lot, so this is the new version of My City called My Island. Develop your island through the ages in this family-friendly legacy experience by the OG Reiner Knizia. Artist is Michael Menzel, put out by KOSMOS. And you have the same mechanisms that are employed as with My City. Bingo, catch the leader, enclosure, grid coverage. It is a legacy game. Some other mechanisms that are employed. Tile placement, victory points as a resource, and it's a scenario mission campaign game. These are all things that are pointing me towards, it's just like My City, but it's an island. So I really want to go get this game. I hope that I'm able to get a copy of this before that first run runs out and I have to wait even longer. But I love city building games, which Barcelona city building game as well. My Island, My City. These are all games that I really enjoy, the kinds of games that they are. So My Island, number 4. And to add to that Venture to Trait hype train, here we go. After Us. Grow the collective intelligence of your monkey tribe faster than your opponents. Okay, so I guess the theme here is that humans are gone and the animals have taken over, and the primates are now rising, and we're growing in intelligence, and now we're going to be competing with other tribes of primates in order to get up there. Vintage Traits artwork, I know, you know, don't act like you're surprised because I'm not either. I think it does have a pretty cool mechanism that's tied to it as well. You have deck, bag, and pool building. There's a race element to it. And then there's also simultaneous action selection. The animal artwork is really good. So that's there. It's a post-apocalyptic theme that's along with it. So everything's pointing me down the road of purchase, which I'll want to at some point in time. That is After Us, my number 3. Now, you might be saying, you love Vincent Dutrait's artwork so much, how can it be a number 3 purchase only for you? Well, the quite frankly, the reason is because my top 2 positions on this list are expansions for games that I already really enjoy. And my number 2 are the NORTHGARD expansions, the WARCHIEFS, and the Wilderness expansion for NORTHGARD. I already like the game. I want to expand the game now, and they're available, and I could purchase them, but I'm not going to be there. Oh well, I'll get over it. It's just stuff, right? It's not a big deal, but I'll get around to purchasing it when I can get around to purchasing it. But if I were there, I'd be trying to race you guys to beat you to purchasing these expansions for NORTHGARD Undiscovered Lands. That's my number 2. And finally, my number 1 is another expansion for a game that I really enjoy, and that is Dice Throne. Now, I've only purchased so far Marvel Dice Throne stuff, and I heard that this one was out there and kind of in the nether. People had purchased it, and it's available. And if I was at Gen Con, I'd purchase it. I'm probably going to try to purchase it anyway, but 2 birds, 1 stone type of thing. If I'm already there and it's there, I'll pick it up. I don't have to wait for it to be shipped, whatever. And that is Dice Throne, Santa versus Krampus. Who wouldn't want to take part in that epic matchup? Santa versus Krampus. It's my number 1. I like the game a lot. It's one of those games that I just really enjoy. Dice Throne Santa vs. Krampus, my number one for must-haves coming away from Gen Con 2023. Now, I do have 3 other honorable mentions. The first one is Smash Up Excellent Movies, dudes. And this is like an 80s-centric smash up of a bunch of different games. Looks like, regular old smash up, but you've got, looks like RoboCop, looks like a Marty McFly-esque looking character up there. Looks like you also have possibly some Ghostbusters in there as well. So I like Smash Up as the game. So this one kind of smoked to me. It just didn't quite make the top 10. The other one was another one called Wild Tiled West. Paul Dennen from Direwolf Games. Build, Mine, Tussle, and Wrangle. That's the tagline for it. Closed drafting, dice rolling, grid coverage, tile placement. These are all things that I enjoy. And if I'm looking at, double layered player boards. Double layered boards are on this. That's a cool component. I love those things. So this one's kind of singing to me. I'd check it out, but this looks like, and I like Wild West themed games as well. So that's another reason why I'd be checking this one out and taking a look. Avatar: The Last Airbender, Crossroads of Destiny is another one that would pique my interest. I watched the show way back when on Nickelodeon. Back when you had to watch those kinds of shows on an actual channel. So a long time ago, or at least it feels like a long time ago. But the theme is the IP is what grabbed me on this one. Not quite enough to put it on the top 10, but it is an honorable mention. I would definitely be walking by to see if they had any copies left, to see if I might be able to pick it up. But those are my top 10 must-have games from Gen Con 2023. If I were going to be there. I am not, but you are possibly, and so you can take this list and maybe add it to your own, maybe weed out some of those inferior choices on your list and add these superior ones to yours. Of course, I'm joking, tongue-in-cheek. You know you better than I do, but these are the ones that I would definitely be wanting to walk away with in my luggage after Gen Con 2023. So, hopefully this has been helpful for you and entertaining. We'll see you guys and gals on the flip side. Take care.